what's going on, everybody, man? You know what time it is. It's time for another Church Nerds episode, man. I got the crew on with me, man. We got Norman, Heath, Gabe, Jordan, Pastor B, and Darrell Walls, man. What's going on, y'all? How the crew feeling?
So, Jay, before we get started, I just want to proudly welcome Gabe Jordan back to the show. We've been looking for you, man. I mean, you just been gone.
Hey, Gabe, I know you've been watching the past few episodes. We are definitely getting where's
listen, I just missed the last episode. Listen,
definitely felt like more.
I felt bad that I fell asleep on y'all. But then
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
So church congregation, y'all hearing it right now. Gabe fell asleep on the last.
Y'all changing times like draws, man. So, but
nobody changed no times. You just decided
I felt bad. Like this. I felt. Listen to me. I felt bad.
He felt
until
bad.
I watched the show.
Uh-oh.
And y'all started talking about sin, and then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm glad I missed this one."
This was okay. No, but for the record, no. I will not have my name besmirched. So, I was the one that brought the question up. I said, "Hey guys,
where did that question come from?"
Yeah. Why did I forget about that?
I said, "Do y'all want to talk about this?" Everybody agreed. If they had said no, I would have stopped.
Wait, where did that question come from?
Where did it come from?
We talk about that off.
Y'all did.
Okay, no. I'll tell you where the question came from. Okay, the question came because every once in a while, because I do a lot of media for the PCFI and for CAM, whatever. I'd just be scrolling through TikTok or whatever.
You are so media trained. Go.
I'm sorry, that's my job. Well, would not do my job. let me do my job poorly. Why not? So anyway, I was just scrolling through the YouTube streets and the TikTok streets, and I ran across but I saw this preacher talking about ways you can and can't go to hell. I was like,
oh really?
So I said, let me ask my brothers. I mean, I'm not a pastor.
Where is he at?
Huh?
Where is he at?
Where was the man at? The man was the man was at his church when he said it. Mm-hmm. That's where he was at.
Yeah.
Oh, but I thought there was like an explanation or something.
You see, okay, why are you being surreptitious, man? Just be straight up.
I'm telling you, this is.
Why are you playing games? Gabe?
Hey, okay, Jordan, I'm just continue because Gabe came back to start more trouble.
Yeah, he been dancing
I
around.
Ain't saying nothing. Hey,
and Gabe and
y'all be
Andre
great.
Not even here to defend himself.
I mean, you just dancing around the topic like Muhammad Ali, trying to be like, "Oh, what you say?
Listen,
where was he at, y'all?"
Listen, I missed the show. Y'all talking about sin, Andre cussing. I don't know what's going on.
There's a whole church song like that. There's a whole church song.
Oh, it is. And the reframe is just that whole phrase right there.
Exactly. Do you want to go to hell?
That's right.
Oh my God! Listen, we so happy glad to have Gabe back on the episode, man. But for real, all y'all, all of our church nerd congregation, we definitely getting Where's Gabe shirts when we start getting the merch. All right. So,
hey, was I the only one gone?
No. We gonna get some other shirts made. We might get a Where's Brian shirt also, but you the
we
main
ain't talking about me tonight. We talking about Gabe tonight. When I missed the next,
I was getting there. I was getting there.
Listen, me and Darrell was tag team preaching last week, so I don't know. We was at Joliet.
I'm screaming. Hey, listen, man. We want you to make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify Podcasts and Google Podcasts, man. Wherever you get your streaming services from, man. Because if you can't watch us, at least listen to us on the road. You know what I'm saying? We're your ears at the church world right now. Listen to us, man. But I got some quick announcements though. For some of y'all that know, we are big football fans.
It's a remix. For some. I'm sorry. Gabe
came back on and got my words all twisted.
So now it's me.
It's definitely your fault.
Because he ain't had these problems last week. He ain't had these problems last week.
And I ain't had it last week until you came back on. But if y'all haven't heard, Usher, it will be headlining the halftime Super Bowl show.
Yep.
Usher.
Yeah.
Usher
Raymond the third.
Yeah, Usher Raymond is doing the halftime show.
They done put out like 4 or 5 different videos using that the confessions video with like different people like telling him that he's doing it. It's pretty good. You definitely check him out.
So
welcome Usher Raymond to the Super Bowl.
Well, if y'all haven't noticed, the past few Super Bowls has been like top tier, like black entertainers that's been making the Super Bowl halftime shows. Been
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think
isn't Jay in charge of that?
Yeah.
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why. Second on, some of us follow Colorado. If y'all don't know, Colorado lost big time this past weekend, 42-6 from to Oregon.
Wow.
I think
still believe.
They cut off his music, man. Terrible.
Hey, I mean, nobody thought they're gonna win them all. So
no, they're not gonna win them all. But I did y'all see what the Oregon coach said to his players before the game? He said they're playing for clicks. We're playing for wins. I was like, dang. Like goodness. Well, wow. They definitely made a statement. And last announcement: God is still good.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey, after talking about Usher and
so in order to help redeem ourselves,
God is still good.
But no, that's the question though. So
can I tell you why God is still good?
Why is God good?
Can I tell y'all why God is still good?
Why is God good?
Because the Bears lost and the Packers won.
I knew he was going to say something like
Brian,
that.
Brian, show the audience your shirt.
Brian.
Hey.
Yeah, I know y'all were definitely praying when he kicked that field goal and missed it. So.
Oh yeah, but the Lord, the apostolic Bishop Singleton used to say, the apostolic winds are blowing. The apostolic winds just blew that ball, blew it over there to the right.
Oh my goodness!
And the Lions won too. So you know the Lord works.
The Lord is moving.
He's moving. Shabbat.
We need to move the coaches for the Bears away from the Bears. We need to find a new offensive coordinator, a new head coach.
Fire everybody.
A new defensive coordinator.
Everybody. Just say everybody.
Our defense is trash.
Oh goodness gracious!
I don't know what to say,
or I just don't get it.
But hey, I'm still a Bears fan, all the way.
That's right.
Got loyalty.
Your team.
So we're all gathered here again on another episode. And,
hey, why does it sound like Jay's about to preach? We're all gathered here today.
You know what? Gabe can't come back because he keeps interrupting people whenever they try to talk.
And we didn't even ask him who his favorite football team was.
Right.
Oh, you want to know?
That team that has a sexual assault charge. That's what his favorite.
Wow.
Now sit there and be quiet.
Wow.
Goodness. Even when you
oh my gosh.
I finally got him to stop talking.
Wow. Wow, Jay.
Wow.
Hey, I'm rethinking our relationship right now. Listen.
That's what you get.
You know, it's all good. You know, my Spartans, we're having a tough year on and off the field the past couple of years.
You only care about basketball. Let's be honest.
No. But I still listen. The Michigan State football is literally the only college football I watch. Them and Deion Sanders now. But we're having a tough year, man. Because of
your house split? Your house is split between Michigan and Michigan State, right?
Well, my house is unified. My wife and my kids.
I'm sorry.
We're all Spartans.
That's right.
But matter of fact, this goes directly into the Miles Monroe. Because I'm leading by example over here.
The foundation.
No, but anyway, no. Yes.
Make me a plate.
No. No, but when it comes to my whole family, like my parents and stuff, yeah, we are in a house divided. Myself, my mom, and my baby sister, we're Spartan fans. Everyone else they're Wolverines. My dad, yep, my younger sister, and my 2 older sisters. Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of so if y'all don't Ohio State played Notre Dame.
Pray for him.
He said pray for him. I was kind of so my mom was a big Notre Dame fan, so I was missing her yesterday because a lot of people know I'm a Buckeyes fan. So I was missing her yesterday because we would have been texting back and forth, trash talking, and then especially with that last possession where Notre Dame had 10 people on the field, 10 players on the field.
Yeah.
So and then Ohio State ended up winning. I would have said, tell your coach to make sure he's got enough players on the field to even up.
It was like the last 2 plays or 2 or 3 plays.
It was the last 2 plays from 8 seconds to 3 seconds. They only had 10 players on the field.
What's their record?
Who? Ohio State?
The Buckeyes.
We 3-0.
Okay.
We 3-0. So we moving right along, man.
What's the Chicago Bears record?
Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Man,
I expect that from Pastor B. I expect that from Pastor B. I did. I thought we were cool, Gabe. Man. Come on, man.
My bad, bro.
That was cold as ice.
That was that hurt a little bit. Yeah.
Listen, man. But Gabe was talking about he's got his house in order. But
wait, nobody answered this question.
What?
We don't want to talk about that. That's why we're gonna keep moving on.
Answer me, please.
Brian,
chill out, man.
Does anybody know?
See, this is why we can't have Packers fans on.
Right,
man. Packers fans are really the worst. Anything to shave the Bears, the Packers fans are gonna be right on top of it.
That's hard, bro.
And he crying.
Y'all got one, right?
No, we 0-3 right now.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Dang, my bad. I ain't even know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's why Brian over there all happy.
He's all happy.
Unfortunately, one of them was to his Packers.
Right. The first game. Y'all pray. Y'all pray. All of our Chicago fan base, man. Listen, we're all in prayer right now. Okay, we all need to just fire all our coaching staff. Okay, ignore the Packers fan. Ignore him. Ignore him. But we're Gabe was talking about his you got his house in order. So that ties into the topic that we're going to get into today, man. And if y'all haven't seen this past week or past 2 weeks, actually, there's been a documentary that's been going around about one of our favorite, Andre's favorite gospel artist, Andre's favorite gospel artist of all time, the great Kirk Franklin. Did you guys see the documentary?
No, yes. But I've seen my timeline flooded with crying tears, and I'm very interested to hear.
Y'all see it here on the bottom of the screen. The documentary is entitled Father's Day.
Yeah. It was sad.
It was sad.
I didn't cry though, but it was sad.
But I didn't. But seeing Kirk Franklin just like weep, that's crazy. I never thought he would. I was seeing
always
like
crying.
That.
What you talking about, man? He cried.
But not like.
Yeah, remember, you're listening to a man who almost died like several times. This Kirk Franklin's always got something sad going on.
Norman.
Yes, please. Yes. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong,
You're not wrong.
Please, am I wrong?
No,
he's not wrong. So,
well, let's be a little bit more sensitive, man. This documentary was really sad.
It was.
Okay.
Like really
be sensitive to the man who I don't know. I got you.
So for those that
wait, what?
Oh my God, Norm.
I'm sorry.
Norm, you are so cold-blooded, bro. Wait, so you said because you don't know him, you don't have empathy for this man's situation? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't have sympathy for it. I may have empathy for it, but I don't have sympathy for it.
Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, I'm just joking.
So for those that have seen the documentary or haven't, this is a spoiler review real quick. I know Pastor B, you say you haven't seen it, right?
No, but I don't mind spoilers. Tell me all about it.
If you got church friends on Facebook, you've already been spoiled. Yeah, it's already been spoiled. Yeah, your timeline is full of this.
So if you follow Kirk Franklin, you know that a few years ago he buried the man who he thought was his father. I believe it was back in 2017. You know, he said he made peace with him because he wasn't in his life or anything. So he father passed away. Well, the man he thought it was his father passed away. And buried him. A few years later, just a couple of months ago, I think this happened around like May. One of his singers went to a funeral for his. I'm trying to remember. Was it his mother's aunt? I mean, mother's sister or something like that. Yeah, for his mother's sister. At that funeral, a man comes up and says, "Oh yeah, I used to date Kurt's mother." So,
AKA, we used to do our thing.
Well, I don't think it was like hey, I used to date Kurt's mom. It sounded like it was more of a somehow this came up, like in a conversation, like people talking. You know, it was like, "Oh yeah, I know her. I used to date her," or something. That to me is where I got it from.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
So,
it wasn't like
wait, don't put that out just yet. Wait a second.
You know, he got in front of the entire church like, yes, I used to date his mom.
Yeah.
No.
So let's not skip the fact that the guy looks just like Kurt.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So rumors start spreading around saying that he kind of does look like Kurt a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It gets to Kirk Franklin. All right, who doesn't know who this man is, right? So what happens is he wants all the rumors to die down, and he looks at a picture. He's like, trying to see, like, okay, kind of. So he gets his DNA swap, and the man turns his DNA in. The doctor calls Kurt and said, this man is 99.9999. She literally went all the 9%.
What?
Your father. Yes.
What?
Now, again,
I'm sorry, Deborah is horrible.
I hate to say this though. That scene, like, I tried not to laugh during that part, but that scene was hilarious. Like, I mean, it's not a scene because it was real life, but I don't.
See, you're laughing because we live in that. Maury Povich has desensitized us to people getting reviews. No, because now we laugh at this. We laugh at the woman who falls out the couch. We laugh at now we're laughing at this. So Maury has desensitized us.
I mean, it's not the news. It was just his reaction to the news, like.
He said what at least 50 times.
What?
Before she can even finish, right?
Hey,
he lied to me. Deborah.
He literally screams out, "My mother lied to me again." And I was like, "Whoa!" So after that scene,
I'm sorry, real quick, and this is I've done customer service and had to give people bad news before, and I just wonder. No, I think of the other side where you just call somebody, yes sir, you're 99.999%, and then you're gonna hear somebody back go, what? What?
This is not okay.
Yes sir.
This is not okay.
She lied to me again.
This is not okay.
I'm not sure, sir.
So he now Kurt. Now after that reaction, he was real. He had to calm himself down. He told the doctor, "I gotta call my mother on this." So she was real nice. Like, do what you got to do. He said. So it cuts off and says Kurt hasn't talked to his mother in 23 years.
Oh, really? Okay, so I didn't realize he had, or maybe I did. So I didn't realize he was estranged from his mother.
Yeah.
Him and his mother, he has not talked in 23 years. So he has to call his mother, but in order to get to her, he has to call his aunt.
She got on my nerves too.
Now this part was wild. Brian, wait, Pastor B, ready for this? He calls his aunt.
Hi,
and he was like, Sandra, and she was like, who? He was Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
He was like, she said, who are you talking to? You mean Aunt Sandra? And he,
I could have saw that come.
He was like, Aunt Sandra. She was like, that's better. I was like, you talking to him? It's a grown man. What's right?
Listen here, I could have saw that one coming a mile away.
And she talking like they got relationship.
Right.
So he says, I need to meet up with y'all.
She said, respect my office.
So wait, hold on. So he gets to their house. He opens the door and he needs Sandra to sign a paper, right?
He opens the car door, not the house door.
The car door. She's standing there. She was like, nigga, get your A out of this car.
Right? Dang, Jay cussing too? All right.
He literally said this, get your A out this car. And he was like, I just need you to sign. She's like, I'll sign it inside. He was like, can you sign the papers out here? That's all I need. I just need you to sign the papers. So
he wouldn't go in the house.
Right. No, he wouldn't get out the car until he signed them papers. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they get in the house, and you can tell it's definitely tension because he's sitting on the opposite side of the room compared to them. So he gives them the papers, and his mom reads the results to the DNA test, and she was like, "This is a lie." She says, "I don't believe this."
Oh, she denied it.
She denied the whole thing. The whole thing.
So then they go get a second test with her.
With
she
her.
goes there as well.
The results come back the same.
99.5%.
She thought that was going to change overnight or something?
Well, she still denied it.
She still denied it. She's like, this man is not your father.
Okay.
Even after the whole science results, DNA, she said, this man is not your father. What was heartbreaking is his aunt literally looks at his mom, Deborah, and she said, he just wants the truth. That's all and Kurt said, I need you to give me this. He told her straight up. He said, are you telling me? And he said, I'm not going to give you no hug, no joking, no nothing. I'm done with you. Are you saying right here after these results that you do not believe in these results? She said, no, I don't believe them. And he was like, all right, cool. Come to find out, he finds the man who is actually his biological father. He is living down the street from his house.
Okay, so pause. Let's rewind a little bit. So this woman of God,
woman of who,
has said that she doesn't think that the results are accurate.
Right.
Not that she doesn't think. They just not accurate. It's a fact.
They're not accurate.
and they are not accurate because she lives in the 0.0000001% of people who take these tests and they're wrong.
Yeah, but actually twice.
Twice.
So theoretically
speaking, less. Now it's
right.
Now it's 0.00000000005.
Yes.
And Jay, I think the worst part about this is, like you mentioned it earlier. I don't think you mentioned it on the live, but Kurt thought he found his real dad.
He thought he found his real dad.
Right.
He made peace with him. He talked to him, everything.
So that man literally shut his eyes.
Wow. Thinking that Kirk was his son.
Kurt was
his son. But it really
makes me wonder why they. Well, I don't know. People have their reasoning. But why the guy who passed? Why they never took a test? I mean, people have their reasons for not. But I mean, it just makes you wonder. Like,
that is a good question.
Why didn't they affirm their thought? You know,
that's a good question, and who knows why? But Kurt also said that he has so much hate in his heart for this man that ended up and just find that he's not the man that I thought he was. He was not my father. So this man literally went into the ground thinking that he was my father. He had a son.
Wow, that's rough, man.
So how did this resolve? So did he go to the new dad?
It didn't resolve, not really. It just
he went. He met the guy.
He met the guy. His dad seemed like the biological guy is real cool. They did a side by side pic, and it's
So they did meet. Kirk went and met the new dad. Okay.
Yeah. But the guy, he had no idea.
He had no idea
Kirk was his son. Like he even said, like, yo, if I had known, it wouldn't be this way.
He would have stepped up as a man to do what he had to do. He said, and Kurt was like, he said, so the town that y'all was in, it's a small town. He was like, I was just a kid, but I had no clue, no idea. Yeah. No. So, but what I can tell how the maturity of this man. He told Kurt, "This is all at your pace." He said, "You are the center of this whole situation." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Whatever you want to do, I'll support whatever. I'm not going to force no father-son relationship with you or anything." He said, "We'll go at your pace."
And I think the sucky thing about this is, of course, Kirk, I'm sure he has to be hurt throughout this whole situation.
He is. He
but is. Even for the dad, though, to really sit and think, man, I had a son I did not know about, and I lost out on 50 plus years of his life.
Now one good positive note is that at part of this is kind of it showed Kirk trying to reconcile with his own son.
Yes. So towards the end,
that was a positive note with that.
Towards the end, Kirk
and Keon irritating himself.
Keon, yep. So we all know about that situation about 2 years ago with Kurt and his son, but it made Kurt realize. It made Kurt realize that, I need to reconcile with my son as well. So he came in and he gave Keon the results, and he just starts busting up crying himself. So,
hey, can we talk about Keon's first reaction when Kirk came, though? Keon is so annoying. Yeah,
what did he do?
Like, before Kirk could even say anything, Kirk is like, son, I want to tell you something that I think is going to change both our lives. Keon immediately is like, I'm hurt and I don't even know what it is. I text you, you don't reply. Like, bro, like, just chill. Just let Kirk talk. Like, that's it. Keon just became. Keon is funny.
He was deep in his feelings.
He was deep in his feelings. But after the results, it seemed like they didn't have no audio, but they showed them talking in Keon's living room, and looked like they reconciled and stuff, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
So
I just pulled up a picture of this new dad and Kirk Franklin. I don't know how in the world, Dana aside, I don't know how in the world anybody can deny this man his father.
Just like him, ain't he?
I mean, they could almost be twin brothers.
Hey, same height and everything.
Right.
I don't know how anybody in the world wondering whether or not this man his father. And then I'm looking at the other guy, and I'm I'm a little confused.
Ryan, behave, man.
So at the end,
I am behaving. Listen, y'all telling me this story, so I'm doing my research.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. When I took from it during this whole thing, obviously Kurt is hurt trying to do all this, but it almost seems like he's back being that 9-10-year-old kid in the middle of a case between like the mother and the father, trying to figure like who's my dad? Somebody lying and someone's not telling me what's going on. And for like his mother and his aunt to talk to him as a grown man, like he's still a little child, like he don't need to know, all this information. Is I really did feel bad for Kurt.
Well, it's not surprising that there are it's not surprising that he can be emotionally stunted. It's not even uncommon that you have men who are emotionally stunted in a certain point, and you get into an area of life where that 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old boy just pops back up again because that's kind of where it stopped.
Right.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the statistics of the matter, there's a high concentration of young men who don't even grow up with a father in their home. Many young men are growing up in fatherless homes. Period, and whether they know who the guy is or not. But and in many cases, it is the latter. It's the not. And so having that understanding, taking that lens to this, whole documentary of Kirk, just kind of puts it in this kind of very common, kind of even more emotional light because it's so common.
Right.
In and out of the church, to be frank. I mean, it's not something that's secular exclusive. This is definitely something that the church has faced, high concentrations of homes that ain't in the picture.
Going into the next segment, I want to talk to y'all about that, and we want you all in the comments, man. Comment, what y'all think. What's the importance of a father in the home?
That's a great
what's the importance of a father in a home? Because not just for young boys, but for young girls as well, they need to have that father figure in there. So I'm the questions out there, fellas. What's the importance of a father? Not a dad, but a father.
Well, honestly, at the end of the day,
since you said that, you got to explain the difference of the two.
Because and I started, but Brian figured he cut me off, so I'm gonna let Brian talk.
Go ahead.
I had a good thought. At the end of the day, and then Brian derailed my conversation. Okay, we're good.
That's a Packers fan. Don't expect much from me.
We win though, so that's all I'm saying. I just want to know, Jay. Like you said, not a dad but a father. What's the difference? I mean, you hear people say that often. Like, what does that truly mean to people? I mean, I don't have a thought of what I might think it means, but what does that mean when people say that?
I think it means different things to different people. Honestly, I've seen people say, "Well, a dad is this, but a father is just that." Then I've seen it the other way, where a dad is this and a father. I think it really, to me, there is no one definition.
It's semantics.
It's semantics at the end of the day. I mean, but to answer his question, to me, the importance of having a father in the home is that, I mean, it if nothing else, it provides balance at the basic level. I mean, like, I have 2 boys, and my wife is a fantastic mother, but she's not a father. She can't teach my sons to be men at all. She can teach them how to respect women. She can teach them how to be gentle as gentlemen to a degree. But she can't teach them what I know as a man and how to operate as a man. So I mean, if at the basic level, not including spiritual and all that other stuff, it just provides. Because you can get deep in this as to how. Definitely, that's my brothers for that. But I'm going the basic level. It just provides a balanced situation.
Yeah, well, I think you said it. Like, a father creates stability in the household. When you look at even the numbers when it comes to church, you are more likely to see the whole family in worship spaces if your father is a participant and in the picture. Stats say 80% less likely to spend time in jail. Your kids are if a father is in the household. So that, I think those stats alone show that a father is so intricate when it comes to bringing stability into the household, whether it's mentally, whether it's from a society aspect, spiritually, anything like that. I think father is essential, to be completely honest.
Darrell, Pastor B?
I mean, from somebody who can kind of who has that experience from I have a dad and I have a father. So I have the man that gave, I share biological pieces with. I would consider my dad, and then I mean, he was, in and out of my life for until he passed away. But he was just in and out, and we didn't really have a true relationship compared to my father, who Bishop Ford married my mom when I was 13. So, for the last, 20 plus years, he's the man that was in the house every day that truly taught me, how to tie a tie or whatever, all the things that, that father there is there to do, that teaches you how to be a man. So there is a difference, like you say, whatever terminology people use, it's interchangeable for sure. But I think it's very important to have that person in the household who can teach you what to do or what not to do. I think both sides of those are hopefully he's explaining what not to do and not showing you what not to do. But I think having those examples is very important and key, because that's how you learn in life. You mimic what you see. You mimic what's around you. You mimic what's in your environment. So even if one thing that's not, even if there's nobody in the home, it's important to find somebody that can stand in the gap if that's not in your home,
right?
To fill that role. Because there's some things you just can't learn.
Do you guys think there's an attack on the, I don't want to say male?
You can say it because it is.
I mean, is it my turn to answer?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna do what Dre did last year. I'm just gonna say, yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is that though?
No, seriously. Like just look at society. Let's just look at it. Let's take this simplistic example. Mother's Day comes and there are commercials, flowers on every corner, balloon stands. Churches will convert their entire Sunday morning service, celebrate women, celebrate mothers. You will see some mothers on their social media pages on Father's Day wishing themselves
a happy Father's Day.
A happy Father's Day.
But let a man talk about Happy Mother's Day.
You have churches come.
Happy Mother's Day to me.
It's Father's Day. Churches act just like ain't nothing even happening.
Hey, listen, every restaurant be open, bro. You don't got you don't got to call in advance.
No reservations needed.
No reservations.
You can just walk right in.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like there is indeed a double standard. Like we celebrate mothers, good mothers, and we celebrate as if there are no bad mothers.
Right.
But then we have, fathers, quote unquote, and both of them, quote, bad mothers, quote unquote, bad fathers. But then we exclude all the good fathers on Father's Day and focus
Deborah is
on
a case in point.
They decided to be with.
Deborah is a case in point.
Deborah.
Yes, Kurt Franklin's mom.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know.
I didn't even know what a woman's name was. But yeah, there you go. You watch this Kurt Franklin documentary, and everybody gonna tell him that that's still your mother. Really?
Right.
So I say that to say, society plays a big role in our ability as men to be effective fathers, when in actuality our world, Christendom aside, our world has an attack on the male.
Well, Brian, even to build on your point, like even when you look at low income families, there are certain instances you cannot get if there's a male figure in the home.
Yeah.
And that is a big component that drives households to divide.
Or for them to lie.
You're right. Hey, when they come around this time of the day, You got to hide in the back. You can't hide in the back, or else we can't get our food.
But okay, well, so my question today would be this way here, just to be objective.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that while this society is being this way, have men played a role? Have they played a role in getting to where we are today?
But see, I resent that question because we don't ask
a question.
I hear you.
It's a hasty generalization.
But I resent that question because we don't ask the question, do women play a part in how some men view them? And we don't then peg all women in a generalization that all women are bad mothers because some women have made the decision not to effectively care for their children. And there's just as many of those as there are that are men that don't take care of their children. And so when you ask the question, have men played a role? Yeah, we've all played a role in our downfalls, male or female. But we don't have conversations about the bad women and see men on Facebook on Mother's Day talking about Happy Mother's Day to me. They mother left them 10 years ago and I've been raising them by myself for 20 years. No, you just a great father. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think if any male that goes on there and says Happy Mother's Day to me is asking a clown.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but we accept it for the women. We accept it.
You know, I think you all, I mean, tight, everyone, bro. Yeah, it's tight, but it's true because, like we said, it's the society that we are living in, and it goes both ways. Like Pastor B was saying, that we've all played a part in that, and we have been sucked in to the social norm. You know what I mean? To where, oh yeah, my father's not here, so it's there's so many kids that I have taught in high school, like, oh yeah, my dad's not, he's in jail somewhere, or he comes and goes as he pleases. My name is Brian. but the importance of a father in the home goes a long way, and I think Gabe had pointed it out with the little teachings here and there that a dad or a dad-father figure does. Norm touched on it too. My father started teaching me and my brother how to cut grass. At 10 years old, he taught us how to change our oil. He taught us that. He said, when you out stranded somewhere, you ain't got no AAA or whatever, you need to know how to change your tire. Just important things. He taught us that men in our family, we protect the women that's in our family. It's just little things like that. That's the importance of a lot of father figures. And I feel bad that a lot of kids are suffering from no good men, but also not even have to be biological. You could have a father figure.
That's true. Now see now that's my testimony, honestly, because my father, for most of my life, was in and out the home. Right. I mean, and my mother, I love her to death. If without her, I wouldn't be me. So let's get that straight up for them.
Yeah.
Straight out for that. But thankfully, I had my uncles, I had the deacons of the church, I had older cousins who were there to fill in those gaps, because I know statistically, the way my life turned out, statistically, it wouldn't have turned out that way. It's just looking at the statistics of it. So, I mean, yes, you may not have a father in the home, but having a positive father figure can be a good substitute for that.
That's why.
What happens when Jay mentioned, my dad taught me how to cut the grass. My dad taught me how to change the oil. All those things your dad taught you how to do. Personally, I don't have that testimony, and because my father wasn't in the home. So my grandfather taught me those things. So he was the guy who taught me how to do all of those types of things. But what happens when we live in a day like now, where society says there are no gender norms, and your mother could have very well taught you how to change the oil. Your mother very well could have taught you how to cut the grass. Your mother very well could have, taught you how to tie a tie. We don't need no father. And
so
then
are you saying we need gender roles, Brian?
And then the churches embrace it. Like there are people out there who embrace that stuff.
Brian, are you saying we need gender roles?
I'm saying that there is a such thing, even if society says that there isn't. But
that's a yes or no, Brian. Are you saying?
I answered that question directly. I'm saying that there are, or that there should be, even if society says that there isn't. However, we don't live in a society that embraces that, and not even some of our churches. What do we do then?
We getting down to you turning down the street, yo.
What do we do then when the sisterhood department? I don't know why y'all did this to me.
No, say it.
Hey, let's go.
Hey,
Let's
we didn't
go.
do nothing to you, bro.
Let's
We didn't do
go.
anything to you, brother.
What do we do when you can't find the brotherhood department? And all we want to talk about is the women's ministry.
No, wait, hold on now. Because some churches, you ain't got no brotherhood department. I mean,
well, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm saying. You saying what I'm saying.
I know there are churches out there.
What do you do when the whole church, when the church got one brother, and
one brotherhood department,
or see, this one we should have had. We should have had men's ministry on here for this conversation.
Oh my goodness. Where's Deacon Pollock when we need him?
What do you do when the brotherhood department is made up of one, and that brother is the pastor's husband? What do you do in those instances when you show up to ministries and churches and there ain't no brothers, but you got all these little boys that their mothers bring them to church? Their father's not in the picture.
Man, that's a hard question.
I think our issue is that we again. Hopefully, y'all not gonna hear me ever say a woman ain't important, because I was raised by one.
No, correct.
A real strong woman. I mean, my mother
sure was. Shout out to Darla. Shout out to Darla.
Yeah.
But Darla, send me $5, please.
Where would we be without? Where would I be? Norm said my mother couldn't, or somebody said it. There was probably Norm stepping on toes. My mother couldn't teach me how to be a man. What happens when society is saying today that a woman can? Because they saying it. How do we defend against that?
I mean, respectfully, nowadays you got. Okay, that's
no.
Say it,
no,
Darrell.
No. Say no. Respectfully, society would tell you that a man can have children.
A man can have children.
They will. But what happens when we embrace that? We may not say that
definition of a man isn't in the church. Definition of a man isn't the same anymore.
Because it's happening. These little things are happening. We may not say a brother can have. The church ain't gonna say the brother can have some children. But we will hear the little chatter happen amongst certain groups that woman can teach him how to be a man. That woman can do anything that brother can do for him. That mother can do it.
Well, see, I think. Go ahead.
How y'all defend that? Because I don't know. Because I'm telling you, I've been hearing it.
I mean, I think there's certain things that, like, even for me, like, again, my mom got married when I was 13. So before that, there was no men in the home. But I did have my uncles. The same thing. I had uncles. I had men in the church that I looked up to. I think there are certain things that even my mom, that mothers can teach their sons. Yeah, they can teach them how to tie a tie. If they're the ones more on the line, they can teach their son how to do it, so they ain't got to do it no more. But it's still, just because you can show somebody how to do an activity, it doesn't teach that young man how to become a man.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to. I know that's it's hard to explain, but it's like it's not giving them the characteristics of a man, teaching them what it truly means to be a man. I think that can only come from somebody who has experience in those things. I can't teach somebody, as I've never been a plumber a day in my life. I can't teach somebody to be a plumber. But hey, I've been an organist. I can teach somebody how to play the keys. So sense. I think that's the way I look at it. It's like, yeah, you can teach them some little activities or little functions of a man, but you can't teach them how to be a man.
That makes sense. So like to Darrell's example, I can find somebody who can show me how to keep the beat on the drums. I mean, they'll show me, okay, you hit the snare here, you hit the kick here, and if you do it enough times, you'll keep the beat. And then I can say, hey, I can play the drums.
Exactly.
You can. I mean, you can play the drums, but
are you a drummer?
Are you a drummer? No, I'm not a drummer, but I can play the drums.
Yeah.
Right? But then if I was to go to Darrell, who can actually show me as a drummer, this is how you play the drums as a drummer, then I say, okay, yes, now I'm a drummer. So to his point, it's one thing to say, let me show you how to do it. But it's another way to say, let me show you how to do it correctly and master the craft. And again, there are various skills that I've seen. I know a female contractor that is amazing.
Right.
Amazing. So I would never say contracting is, in the past, that was a man. I would never say that at all. Right. But can she teach me how to be a man? No, she can't. Because she is a woman. I mean, it sounds harsh, but I mean, we all have our roles. Biblically, we all have our roles as we're supposed to play, right?
Because some of those
play
things,
them the way we're supposed to operate.
Like y'all talking about changing oil. I ain't changing nobody's oil. I'm going right to Jiffy Lube. Somebody, like I can take my wife's car.
I just said he taught me how to do it. I didn't say I went to the oil change.
Well, why do you guys think there's so much pushback on that? Because I completely agree. Like the point that you just made of a woman, and I think women are great. I'm married to one.
Amen.
You have to make that clear today.
Ain't nobody on here married.
We're making that clear right now.
I'm just saying.
I mean, nowadays, what does that even mean, though? I'm married. That's the whole.
I mean, hey,
don't do it. Don't do it.
Right. But even that TD Jakes clip when he was talking about something similar, and he said, not woman, but I can't no more tell you how to give birth. And just the same as that, you cannot tell me how to be a man or a father to my child. You know what I mean? And he got complete pushback from that.
Yeah. Well, that was my point, Gabe. I agree. I can't tell you. I can't answer your question besides saying that it is an intentional ploy of Satan. I honestly, I have no other explanation besides the fact that Satan himself understands the power of a man. And I mean, even in there's a clip out there, Miles Monroe. There's a clip out there where he mentions the man or is likened to the foundation of a building, and that it is his responsibility biblically to not necessarily be seen, but to be found holding up the structure. I mean, in this clip, he, talks about taking the pictures of, they was at a conference, and he said you went and took a picture of the chandelier, and you went and took a picture of the carpet and the doors and all this stuff, but nobody went and took a picture of the foundation. Realizing that foundation is what's holding up that building. And he likens a father or a male in the home to that foundation. So the enemy understands that, and he is doing everything he can to destroy the foundation, because if he can destroy him, he can destroy that family.
Wait, hold on, Jay. Understand this. The only way a building can be condemned is if the foundation is damaged.
Yep.
Drop the
only
mic.
way you can condemn a
That's
building
deep.
is if the foundation is
That's the only way. That's the only way. But Brian, like you were saying, that's literally like the only explanation we can say is the trick of the enemy is Satan. You could even, I know this is deep, but take it back to Eden. You know what I'm saying? Adam was in charge of everything.
Yeah.
He was in charge of everything. And even though the serpent, even though he talked to Eve, Adam should have had enough sense to say, "Oh, you was talking to, you shouldn't even have been talking to him in the first place."
Well, not even he was there.
Yeah. She didn't go across the field to look for him.
Right. She didn't do it away
from him.
He was there. I mean, if you read it.
And my thing is, he says he talked to God all the time. So I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You know he gonna come looking for you later. And he told you specifically, do not eat from that tree. That's exactly what he said. So Satan has been trying to kill the man since the foundation of the world. Since the beginning of time.
He didn't go to the garden. God didn't come to the garden and say, Eve, where are you? Because his covenant, his connection was with Adam.
Especially when he said,
once Adam sinned, that God goes, oh, wait, hold up.
He said especially when he said flesh of my flesh. We connected flesh of my flesh.
We just
you should know what she is.
Well, even throughout scripture, when Jesus refers back to Adam ushering in sin into the world, he doesn't even mention Eve.
Yeah.
Eve is never mentioned.
No mention.
It's Adam.
Right, but and I think sometimes to Ryan's earlier point, some people can misconstrue this type of talk as we're trying to be anti-feminist or we're trying to push females down. Because that's some of the pushback. They'd be like, oh, you trying to push the female down and put them... No, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's really not that at all. It's in reality putting everybody in their correct role. Yep. Right? I mean, you can... if the man is the foundation, he holds it all up, then the female technically would be above that, being protected by the foundation. If anything, that's the reverse of what society says, that the man's pushing people down, because that's not really what it is.
No, we trying to hold you up.
We're trying to hold you up. We're trying to hold you up. And you make sure everything else is cool.
Both are needed in the household.
Exactly. Yep. Both are needed.
As much as we're saying a woman can't teach a young man how to be a man, I could not teach a daughter how to be a woman.
Sure can't. And I ain't even trying. Lord, thank God for my wife. Because if I was out here trying to teach these girls how to be women, I was
going to ask Pastor B.
Girls gonna be messed up.
I was going to ask Gabe, why is it so important for a father to at least be around when the girls come up? You know, like you said, women. You know, because you have a lot of girls that, they ain't had no father figure to teach them what type of man they should.
Well, I was about to say that, Jay, because especially as a girl dad, you're the image they see when it comes to what they look for in a man.
Shout out to the girl dads.
Girl dads here.
Right, 100%. That's why I take that super serious. Because a lot of the times when we look at, and I don't want to talk about women as these frail, creatures or anything, but when you look at the guys who they're attracted to, a lot of the times it's a product of them either having a dad in their life or not having a dad in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they see me treating their mom right, if they see me, loving them correctly, showing them respect, building them up, then that's what they're going to look for in a man, or at least I would hope when it comes to that time.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dog. You hitting it right on the nose, bro. Like, I see so many, and Gabe, you work in the school system too. I've seen so many young teenage girls just get with the wrong type of guys. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, for me being a coach, that's why I love being a coach, because a lot of these kids, they come up to me because they're looking for something. A lot of them want to do right, believe it or not. A lot of them come up to me and say, Coach J or Mr. J, man, I'm having trouble. And I just tell them, like, why y'all coming to? I asked them, like, what y'all coming to me for? They was like, because you one of the only men that we actually seen as being a man. Yeah. You don't talk to us no type of way. You don't
black man at
that. That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's a soapbox I get on all night. But yeah,
I take, and I thank God for I thank God for, we back to the foundation. I thank God for my father, my uncles, all the different men that have been in my life to teach me how to be a man. Not only teach me, they taught me that it is my job that God has ordained. This is a job for me. I love doing it. Bishop Jacobs was preaching earlier, and he said that his wife had called, said she was uncomfortable at the hotel with his daughter, where her daughters were. They're having a birthday party or whatever. And he said, you know what? He packed up him and his boys and went to that hotel just to make sure that his wife and his daughters were okay. Period. Point blank. She said, "You didn't have to do all that." No, I was coming because
yes, I did.
Job. Yeah, yes, I did.
I'm posted in the lot.
You don't feel uncomfortable? What? Okay, I'm on my way.
That's our job, is to protect and provide for our families. And I love what you just said, Jay, because even with my dad, I could honestly say, man, like there's certain, I would not be living the life I'm living now. I would not own my own home. I would not work at the job I work at. I would not be married to my beautiful wife with kids if it wasn't for him speaking affirmations into me.
Right.
Age. And I love moms. But it was different when my dad would tell me or speak affirmations into me when I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Y'all know my mother. I miss my mother with everything. She taught me a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, when she needed some bass, she told my father, "Hey, I need some bass." They're not listening because when that there's a certain roar. The house rumbles when the father's in the house. You know what I'm saying? Everything's in order. You know, daddy coming. You better, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And not even just that, bro, but there's a different feeling when your dad tells you he's proud of you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a whole different feeling when your dad tells you, "Yo, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the man you're becoming. I'm proud of the woman you are." You know what I mean? It's a whole different feeling, bro. Okay, and like when mom says it, that's great. But when your pop
that's great. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question then, because, and again, I want to make sure that we try. We can talk about a lot of stuff, but the most important thing that we try to be here at Church Nerd is solution based, right? We don't want to just pontificate on what the problem is. We want to say, okay, what's a solution, right? Because we recognize, yes, it's important to have fathers in the home. Yes, it's important. How do in this day and age? How do we, and this may be, Pastor B might ask this question, how do we pass that on? I mean, because the reality of it is that what we're talking about are good fathers that actually are walking in the role, they're walking in the way it's supposed to walk, right? How do we help change the narrative that these people don't exist? And when we talk about it, we're being anti-feminist. When we're really not.
I would say, then I'll let someone else. What I would say is, Norm, I actually, even asked my father this question before, and he said, "What you do, son?" He said, "You can't raise your son like I raised you. You got to come up with different ways. Now you can take the teachings that I've taught you and teach them to your son, but in a different way that you." So those father figures that we all had, or saying that you had, and Pastor B had, who taught you these lessons, you remember these lessons that you have learned, and you pass them on. That's what it says. You got to pass these lessons on to the next generation, because they've been put down in you. Same way as with scripture and doctrine, they've been put down in you so much. You eventually teach your sons, "Hey, this is how I learned it." But if your sons has a different way of learning, you got to teach them. The foundation doesn't change. The principle doesn't change. It's just the teaching changes, if that makes sense. Is the way we bring them to them. Someone else can go. That was just my thing. Anyone? Pastor B? Gabe? Darrell?
I think it starts with education.
Bueller?
I think our fathers, to your point, Jay, have to be educated in educating and being fathers. But personally, maybe unpopular opinion, I think this really is something that we as a faith community can't perpetuate. I think it starts with us taking a stand that we aren't going to create this divide or paint this narrative that the role of and I know there are those out there that will say, well, churches have always promoted the man and churches don't promote women and blah 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 blah. There is that there are y'all out there, and I hear your plight. I do, sincerely. But the reality of the matter is we went from one extreme to the other. And I think the Bible says it well when he says, he that shall obtain the mastery, or who would obtain the mastery, must be temperate in all things. I think we've lost our balance. We need to swing back over the other way a little bit and restore the order, the godly order that God ordained, and promote men being men in ministry, in their homes, in their communities, in their lives, and everything that they do. Let men be men. And I think we got an imbalance, not just in men being men, but even in men understanding that sometimes you got to play multiple roles. Sometimes you got to play multiple hats, and you can't be bishop at the house. And at the house, you got to be father, and you can't be, like having that balance is necessary in creating a next generation of healthy men. That's my opinion. The solution is balance. Us going back to restoring order.
I think the solution is scripture.
Yeah.
I think our society has done a bad job at allowing culture to influence the way we live and interpret scripture. And when we go to 1 Corinthians 4 and 15.
Oh, you actually went to scripture. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. It
says, say it like that, like he don't read the Bible at all.
You
actually went to the Word. Oh,
right.
Oh, teacher, man.
What?
Just the pastor of a church. I mean,
no. Listen, I live on scripture, man.
Let this man finish it. He was having a heartfelt moment. Jay,
for if you have 10,000 guardians in Christ,
you
do not have many fathers.
That's the word.
For in Christ Jesus, I fathered you through the gospel. In the next verse, Paul is showing us that you can have teachers, but it's a whole different ball game when you have a father.
Come on now.
In the next verse in 16, it says, "Become imitators of me." You see, when you have a father, that's not just someone who teaches you, but that's someone who you can imitate.
Come on.
Exactly. And
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to get back to doing, man. The reason, like you guys said, like I said, the reason I am where I am today, the reason Brian is where he is today, Jay, Norm, Darrell, is because they had godly men, father figures in their life to imitate.
That's it.
To show you how to treat a wife. Show you how to change oil, to show you how to provide for your family, to show you how to protect your family, not just provide financially, but what does it mean to really provide and protect your family, to bring security? You know what I mean? And I think once we get back to the foundation, look, the word is where we have to get back to.
Agreed.
That's good.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think before we get out of here, I think us as men, godly men now, and how we change what society's in, is get back to just praying, man, and taking a prayer life serious. I know we pray for, Lord, help us and this and that, but Lord, help me to continue just being a man. Like Pastor B, like Brian said, men being men. Lord, help me to be a man, how to provide, how to love my wife, how to be around my children, give them lessons, how to be a man in the church. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not just, your children aren't the only ones that's going to see you. When you at church, you got other kids that may not have father figures, or they do have that, but you're someone that they look up to. They imitate you. So I believe it's just prayer, man. Just continue in prayer over and over again on how to be a man, because all wisdom comes from God. So when you trying to Lord, what am I supposed to do? Just get down on your knees, or even if you just drive and just have a conversation with Lord, I need your help on
100%.
Just being a man that you called me to be.
So here's a question. And again, this could be rhetorical. This could be pushed off another time. The perceived lack.
Another time. No.
I was about to chop you off the show, brother. It was my head was moving no. The perceived lack of a strong, stable, godly men in the church would you say, yes or no, whatever, that perceived lack of it is what also drives men to not want to come to church?
Well,
that might be a combo.
And part two of that would be, could that be a attractive nature of some of the, I can't say the word, I'm gonna get put off YouTube, but
just say it.
No. The brothers that dressed in purple and marched down the street.
Yeah. No, we following you. We got you.
Okay.
The alphabet community.
No, not them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
that's what I thought he was.
No, I'm talking about the other brothers that. Not bad. I'm not gonna say. You know what I'm talking about, right, Brian?
No, I thought you were talking about the alphabet community.
Okay. No, okay, all right. Well, no. Then I'll go for it. The
throw it in the chat.
No. I'm gonna sure. The what I've seen is a great factor. Is what helps draw the Hebrew Israelites is this strong male feature.
Got you.
That's one of the appealing factors. Is the strong black man?
It's brotherhood, and because brotherhood. Men look for brotherhood. I mean, it's just, and that's just in and out. I mean, that's not unique to faith walks, right? That's why people join fraternities. That's why people join gangs. That's they're looking for camaraderie and brotherhood. It's a part of our nature to want to be around other men who have the same. I mean, reality is this podcast was stemmed from some brothers looking for brotherhood, looking for camaraderie, looking for togetherness. And so, yes, you're absolutely right. I think that was a ploy of the enemy. I go back to my original point, right? We started this whole thing, empower women, and we ought to empower women. Women have their place. I mean, there's some strong women that are mentioned in the Bible, in the text. But we started this movement, and then we went all the way to one extreme, and we said, forget all the brothers.
Right.
Women can do everything. They can cook, come up, do praise and worship. They can preach. They can do everything. We don't need no brothers no more. Brother, you sit down over there, brother, and watch this woman do it. Like that's the mentality that we've gendered, and so then we got the results we got today.
Okay. Hey man, listen. We go.
Can I say this last thing? Timothy said, for a man that knows not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the house of God?
Mm-hmm.
I think we got. You asked for solutions, Norm. I think the other solution is we need to return to teaching men how to be men at home, and not just preachers, deacons, pastors.
That part.
Floor sweepers, brother.
Floor sweepers.
You don't need to be here talking about no cleaning no church and preaching to me, and your wife and kids running amok at the crib.
Right.
Hit the road, Jack. Go take care of that.
Don't hit the road,
back here.
Hilarious.
Hey man, listen, we are definitely going to have a part 2, man. We're going to have a guest on next episode.
We're going to have to get Jerry Pollock and Larry Jones up on this next episode. On the
Kingsmen? You want to get the Kingsmen on here?
Well, they're not the Kingsmen anymore. They're the International Men's Auxiliary.
The International Men's Auxiliary.
That is the name of the auxiliary.
Yeah,
they actually had a global men's conference, which is really good.
It just passed. We could get a catch up on that when it comes.
If you go back, the streams are online. You know, Bishop came and killed everybody.
I saw.
We got to get some women on here too.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Why not?
I agree. Listen, hey, to our fan base, man.
What'd you say,
Norm? What'd you say, Norm?
I said you can get Shonda and Michelle White and some other from that I know that will be wonderful co-balances.
I got a couple names too.
Yeah,
right.
Let's do it.
Hey y'all, to Church Nerd Congregation, man, we're gonna get some names and we're gonna have a part 2 because this is an important subject. Mm-hmm. This is very important, man, especially in the society that we're living in today. But once again, man, we are the Church Nerds, man. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify Podcasts, man. Once again, I'm Jay Baldwin. We got Norman Heap, Gabe Jordan, Pastor B. My name is Brian, and Darrell Walls, man. We'll see you next time on the Church Nerds Podcast. Later.
Miss you, Dre.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, this episode is dedicated to Andrew, who's about to become
a father. About to be a daddy soon.